Hey guys, it's your girl, it's Queen Aset Haru. So if you like my daily ramblings or my weekly ramblings or whenever I decide to make a video ramblings, please subscribe to my channel because you'll be able to hear all of them. Typically I get questions from people. You can feel free to inbox them to me or to email them to me or to send them to me on YouTube, and I don't answer all questions. If it's a question that you can Google, it's not a question that I'll answer. But if it's a question that amuses me, I will definitely answer it. I have a very strong trickster energy. I call it my inner Loki. And anything that amuses me gets my attention. So if you want to ask a question, please feel free. Also, if I've already done a video on it, I won't do another video until I have further information. So look back and see if I've already talked about that particular topic. Okay, so today we're going to do, again, ask an Aquarius about an Aquarius. I have two very funny Aquarius questions. Okay, so number one. The first question is about Aquarius and Gemini. The person asked me, can the Aquarius make it with a Gemini? Now, in an earlier video, I told you that it's all about the element. So Aquarius is the air element and Gemini is the air element. So two elements can go very well together. It's like air returning to air. So they can work out. They can be a long-term relationship. They can be great. The question really is, I'm going to be honest with you. Geminis are two-faced sometimes. Not all of them, obviously, but some of them can be very two-faced. One minute they with you, next minute they not. So the Aquarius is aware of that. So we're always like, okay. I've been seeing in my horoscope a lot of messages about dating a Gemini. And the first thing that came to my mind was, aren't they kind of two-faced? So even though I do think it could work out, and it is something that I actually would make an attempt at trying if I met a Gemini that I liked, but I'm always going to be looking out like, okay, when's the other twin going to show up? Because Geminis have two twins. There's a good twin and there's a bad twin, or there's an old twin and a young twin, or there is an eccentric twin and an ordinary twin. There's always two of them. So you have to meet both of the twins before you're able to figure out if you're able to deal with the person. So if it's one twin that you know and you haven't met the other twin, you haven't met the other side of them, you really have to wait until you meet the other twin, because that can really be a deal breaker. But if both twins are pretty cool, you will, as an Aquarius, a typical stereotypical Aquarius, be able to get along with them, because again, their element and yours match perfectly. Geminis are very inspiring to Aquarius. They are thinkers. They like to write. A lot of things that Aquarius really get into. So Gemini and Aquarius is a really good vibrational match for friendships as well as lovers. A really good lover match too. So that's the Gemini and the Aquarius question. So yes, it can work out. Again, if I were you, I would take their date of birth and their time of birth, and I would do a compatibility chart on astro.com, because what I'm giving you now is general information, and if you do a compatibility chart, you'll get specific information. Because for example, the Gemini and Aquarius can make it, but if the Gemini has other influences in their chart that are contrary to air, for example, if the Gemini has a lot of Capricorn, it might not be the same energy. It won't be the same energy, and it may be more difficult for the two of them to make it. Might still be able to do it though, depending on what the information says in the compatibility chart. So give yourself that specific information. What I'm giving you is just the general, because obviously I'm not looking at your chart. So this is the general information as it pertains to the relationship between the Gemini and the Aquarius. The Aquarius will be very sympathetic towards the Gemini as well, and more than likely vice versa. The Gemini may find the Aquarius to be a little cold at times, but that changes as time progresses and they get used to you. Okay, so if you're looking at that particular situation, for the person that asked me that question, I would say do the compatibility chart, and there's a very good possibility that the two of you are compatible. Okay. Number two, I was then asked a second Aquarius question about the Aquarius. This was a good one. It's made me laugh so hard. The person said, How do I get the Aquarius to open up to me? This person is talking about her sister. Her older sister is Aquarius, and she is a Taurus. Okay, so she wants her older sister to open up to her. So I asked her, I said, how does she treat you? And she said, she's polite, she's cordial, but she's very distant. She doesn't really seek me out. Sometimes I'll text her, she doesn't respond, or she responds days later. She doesn't really hang out with me. We're not very close, that kind of thing. And I said, what did you do to her? Because the bottom line is you did something to her. If your Aquarius is shut off to you, you did something to them. And you know what you did. You probably did several somethings to them. And you may want to pretend like you don't know, but you know. So the bottom line is that, like I said to her, what did you do to her? Because the Aquarius is the kind of person that if you did something to them, maybe once or twice, it's a really good possibility that they might forgive you. All you really have to do is come forward, apologize. Aquarius do not like people who will not be accountable and responsible for their actions. So if you did something to an Aquarius, the first thing you need to do is acknowledge it and apologize. First and foremost, you're not going to get anywhere with us until you've done those two things. That's number one. So acknowledge what you've done, apologize about it, and then tell them, tell your sister, I would really like to mend fences with you. I would really like to change things between us. Now, if your Aquarius sister does not respond to this, I'm going to be honest with you, you've lost her. Whatever you've done to her, whatever things you've done to her, because it's usually more than one thing, she's decided that she can't trust you. She's decided that you're not trustworthy. She can't trust you. Quite frankly, she thinks you're a snake. So if you are in that position with her, the best thing to do is just back off. She'll be cordial to you. Most of us will be cordial when we see you, when we're in a positive energy, or we'll just totally ignore you. One of the two, cordial or ignore you. So just leave her be. I know that this is not the kind of information that somebody would want. They want me to say, hey, just apologize and she'll come back with open arms. But I really can't say that about the Aquarius, because once the Aquarius doesn't trust you, we never really trust you. Most of us, like I said, in the positive, will be polite to you, will be cordial to me. You're my sister, so we shared a family, a life, a history, a mother. So I'll be cordial to you. I will be polite to you even in most cases, but I'm not really going to trust you. I'm not going to open up to you. I'm not going to tell you my business. I'm not really going to invite you in. So once you've come to that space, then it's just time to let that go. So if you've done one or two things to her and you think you can come forward and say, I'm sorry, and move forward, then fine. Maybe you'll be able to make it happen. But if you've done things to her consistently throughout the years, and if you've apologized before and then done something else, like, for example, Aquarius don't like people talking about them. And one person comes to mind. She talks about me like a dog, like a dog. And then the person that she talks to me about comes and tells me what she said. But she doesn't know that. So she keeps going back to this person gossiping about me. And they both gossip together. The other person is not innocent. Trust me and believe me. So they sit there and gossip about me back and forth. And then the two-faced one comes back and tells me what the other one said. But not what she said, mind you. So every time this person comes forward to me to try to be my friend or try to hang out with me or try to, want to butter up or, buddy up with me, I'm like, really? You can't do that. The Aquarius is never going to let that ride. It doesn't matter who you are, if you're family, if you're friends, if you're the pastor, it doesn't matter. We're not going to let that ride. We're going to separate ourselves and we're going to shut you off, and we're probably not going to change. No matter how much you try, we're not. Because number one, we know that you're a snake. You're sitting here talking about me. Aquarius do not like that. We don't like that disloyalty, that two-facedness. That is the easiest way for us to back up off of you. So if you're doing things to your Aquarius, or if you've done things like this in the past, your Aquarius is more than likely not going to come back to you. Now, if you haven't, if it's just a little incident or maybe one or two small incidents and you can make it up to them and you can work through it, maybe you both have fault in and you can both work through it, that's fine. But if you've repeatedly done snake things to them throughout life, especially in this case, this is her older sister. So if you've repeatedly done things to them, lied on them, told mommy things, told daddy things, whatever, stole their Betsy Wetsy doll, if you've repeatedly done things to them and then in adulthood talked nasty about them, gossiped about them, done things like that, they're not going to forgive you. You might as well just forgive it. I mean, just forget it. They'll give you whatever they give you. A Aquarius who's grounded will try their best to be polite and cordial, except for when you get on their nerves. When you get on their nerves, it's going to be hard for them to detach from it. It's going to be hard for them to hide it. So if you do anything to irk them, it's really going to be really hard for them to not want to choke you, quite frankly. So the best thing for you to do is leave them alone. Just kind of leave them alone, back up off of them, and when you see them, be polite and cordial and leave it at that. Do not keep on coming at them. Don't keep on trying to ask them things. Don't keep on trying to text them and hit them up and always want to ask them questions and shit. You done messed up. Leave them alone. And I'm telling you this because of the fact that the more you come towards them, the more they dislike you. You see, the more you irk them, the more you meddle, the more you come forward, the more they like, ugh, will this person leave me alone? Now, mind you, these two people are sisters. This is a younger sister asking me the question about the older sister. So the younger sister really wants a relationship with her older sister. And I understand that. That's a family. Of course you want a relationship with your older sister. But if you have been snaking your sister all this time, it doesn't matter to her that you're her sister. She doesn't trust you. She can trust the next door neighbor more than she trusts you. She probably does trust the next door neighbor more than she trusts you. She probably confides in the neighbor or her friends or whoever more than she will ever confide in you. So you just have to eat that. You've done things to her and you have to eat it. The only way that you're going to be able to change it is if she is open to working through it with you. Now, if she agrees to work through it with you, you need to work on it consciously, genuinely. If she says that she'll drop these things, then you need to work on it with her. You need to work on it genuinely, authentically. You need to stop whatever you're doing that started in the first place. If you're gossiping about her, if you're stealing her Twinkies, whatever you did that started in the first place, don't ever do that again. Because what's going to end up happening is that you'll go right back into the outbox. She'll let you back in. She'll try a little bit, see that you're full of crap, and put you back into the outbox. So don't step forward until you're emotionally healthy enough to change the dynamic between you and your sister. Don't step forward and just fuck up again. Because if you step forward and just mess up again, your sister is going to go right back to the same area of not talking to you, of shutting you out. So it's up to you what you want to do. So if you want the Aquarius to forgive you, and if you want the Aquarius to welcome you back into their life with open arms, you have to come to them genuinely. Remember, the Aquarius can see BS from back deep. We can peep negativity, we can peep lies, we can peep treachery from across the street. So remember that. Remember, we can see that. So don't come at her until you're ready to come openly, honestly, authentically. Don't come at her unhealthy either. If you still have unhealthy things going on inside of you, if you're still doing unhealthy behaviors, work on it. Heal thyself. Go to a therapist. Go to a spiritualist. Get you some self-help books. Pick up Ayanna Van Zant's work. Ayanna Van Zant has really good work. If you do it authentically, it will help you change yourself. Do something along those lines before you come back to the Aquarius. Because if she lets you back in and you screw her again, you best believe that's your last chance. Best believe that's your last chance. And the more you push her, the more further away she's going to go from you. So if she lets you back in and you screw her over again, you do something else to her again, she's going to get further and further away every time. That's how we are. We don't like being hurt. Nobody really likes being hurt, but the Aquarius guards ourselves because we've been hurt too many times. So it's like, no, you're not going to hurt me again. So for the Taurus that asked me about her Aquarius sister, that's pretty much the bottom line. You have to soul search and look at what your part in this is. And if you've done nothing to her, seriously done nothing to her, she just don't like you. It's something about your personality that she doesn't like, and she's choosing to stay away from you because it irritates her. And if that's the case, there's nothing you can do to change your personality. You're going to have to just accept that you and your sister are going to have a very cool, cordial relationship. Because like I said before, if it's a personality issue, there's not really too many things you can do about that. I wouldn't recommend changing your personality to have a relationship with your sister, unless it's something about your personality that is negative. If it's something about you that's negative or dysfunctional, then I would say yes. For example, if you've done nothing to her, but she doesn't like you because you whine all the time, you complain all the time, you have a negative vibration. This is something that Aquarius can't stand. Then when you're around her, be mindful of that and try not to complain as much. Try not to be as whiny. When you're around her, be conscious of that. And that's something that'll make her want to be around you more often. If it's more pleasant, like, oh, okay, well, I went and saw her Thursday and she wasn't whining. I think I might go see her next week. So she'll come back forward if you're not getting on her nerves. So these are the answers for you as far as what to do about your Aquarius sister. Okay, guys, I'm going to get going now because I have no privacy where I'm at, as always. And the video is taking in noise from bicycles and screams and things along those lines. All right, so as Queen said, Haru, if you like me, please subscribe. And if you have questions, let me know. Deuces.